Hey everybody, this is Eli Freestone. You're watching my week 1 reflection video for Java 1, term 1403. This week I just did a tip calculator, a fairly simple application, but considering it's my first time ever using Java, I think it's a pretty good start. Anyways, let's go ahead and do a quick demo over here. Go ahead and enter 10. For my edit text field here, you can only enter in an integer. I did want to add in so you can enter in the change using a float. Unfortunately, I just didn't have the time to work out the logic for that yet. So as of right now, you do have to round to the nearest dollar. Uh, only whole numbers, no letters, none of that, and no decimal points. So anyways, let's go ahead and enter 10 and calculate tip. You'll notice I didn't select rate service though. I just wanted to show that it does default to 1%. If you got bad service, you're not going to completely snub the waiter or waitress. So yeah, let's go ahead and change that to 3 stars and calculate again, and then it goes to 15%. So it does change the percentage based on the stars, although you can select half stars. The way I'm grabbing this grabbing the star rating is it starts as a float and then I'm casting it into an integer. So it does drop the 0.5, 3.5 becomes 3, 4.5 becomes 4, so on and so forth. It just made more sense to simplify it considering the limited time. I just didn't want to make it too complicated, and then casting it into an integer made it simple to use a switch statement to grab that rating and then change the percentage. So I do want to go ahead and show that if you don't enter in a dollar amount, it does change the text to please enter in a rounded number, as well as changes it to red. I did want to do some sort of a pop-up alert, but unfortunately I didn't have time for that either. But that actually also brings me to one of the things I think I could have done better, and that is that there's no sort of alert to tell you when you're trying to enter in a character that's not allowed. It does only you're only allowed to enter in numbers, but if you try and enter in letters, I'm typing several letters right now, it doesn't do anything at all. I do wish I could have done some sort of a pop-up for that. There's also a flaw in my logic, or more like a missing part in my logic, I should say, and that is if you look at, I typed in 100 and then 3 stars, and because the way floats work with math, they're not pinpoint accurate. And I also don't have any sort of logic to change the how many decimal points there are. So as you can see, it's 15.00001. You can also get it to come up with like 15.4, minus the 0 for $15.40. I do wish I could have had time to work out that logic as well. Unfortunately, time was just limited, being the first week of the class and everything. Anyways, let's go ahead and do a quick run through my code here. So inside the onCreate, I'm creating my linear layout and then setting up all my different elements and then setting up layout parameters for them. There are a couple of layout parameters that I use more than once. One of them that I use the most would actually be the center parameter, and it's essentially just wrap content for both height and width, and then I set the gravity to center. And then so I use that to center a lot of elements, and then it works out rather well. So anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the onClick. First I check to make sure that there is a string entered into the edit text field. If there's not, I change the color and add the please enter message, which actually comes from an XML file, so that covers my resource. And then if there is a string entered, then it does all the casting. It does the switch to set the tip percentage to do the math, which I actually do in a separate method. Slash function down at the bottom here, which actually has a do while loop in it. But yeah, it does the math and then also displays the rating as well as the tip amount. I guess really one thing that I could use some more clarification on at the moment would be the difference between a method and a function. I've read several different places that have different answers. Some say that a method, that a difference between the two is one has, based on the scope, or if it's within a class or linked to a class, so on and so forth. But I've read some contradicting ones that some say that's for the method, some say that's for a function. So I would like to know what really is the difference, if anything, or if it's just kind of the, different side of the same coin. So far I'm really liking Java, although I did find it a bit intimidating at first. I think it was really just the new IDE plus all the little different syntaxes. Compared to Objective-C. I did catch myself a lot trying to use Objective-C syntax, which doesn't work for most things in Java, but there are some random things that they are identical. So yeah, I did catch myself doing that a couple of times, but I did manage to kind of get through it, and I think I did fairly well for the limited time we had this week. So yeah, I guess that's about it. This has been Eli Freestone, week 1 of Java 1, term 1403. Thanks for watching, and have a good night.